Hello, everyone. My name is Gregory Jenkins. I'm the founder and CEO of Quintasia Studios, and this is the Quintasia Podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about two words: purpose and grace. Let's start with purpose. I see a lot of things in this world today, as I'm sure do most of you. I see anger. I see I can't say the word. People being inhospitable to each other. I see a lack of caring, a lack of empathy in the world. But to me, and this might sound strange to you, those are symptoms. Those are symptoms of an underlying problem. And I believe that underlying problem is a lack of purpose. Human beings need purpose. It's why you can make all the money in the world and still be miserable if you don't feel like you have a purpose. And for many people, I dare say most people, making money is not a purpose. It's something you do, but it's not a purpose. Now, yes, we know people that their purpose is to make money, and that's their whole life and their whole wealth. And I suppose maybe they're happy. But for the rest of us, we need something bigger than that to fulfill us and to feel like our life has meaning. And in order to feel like it has meaning, we need purpose. So when I see all of the hate, all of the dysfunction that's going on, to me, it looks like a symptom of people who don't have purpose. I think that there's a physical manifestation when you don't have purpose in your life. There is a physical pain that you feel when you don't have purpose in your life. Now, I'm not a guru. I don't have any secret life formulas, and I haven't figured out life for myself. But I tell you what I do have is I do have purpose. My purpose is I want to see the people who are struggling in the entertainment industry and who are super talented and just need a break. I want to be one of those individuals that can give them that break, that can introduce them to the world and let the world see their talent as I have been blessed to see their talent. That's my purpose. That's what I want to do. That's what keeps me going. And let me tell you, purpose is not without sacrifice. It's hard, but the sacrifice somehow is a little more palatable it's a lot more than a little more palatable. It's what makes the sacrifice worth it is when you have purpose. Now, unfortunately, if you're living your life and you're trying to latch on to some purpose, sometimes people latch on to negative things. They latch on to hate groups. They latch on to, destructive behavior, hating other groups or whatever to make themselves feel better about the emptiness that they may be experiencing. A lot of times it looks to me like, well, I'm not even going to give people in the world a chance to reject me. I'm going to reject you first. And they want to feel justified in their hate of you because they assume that you hate them. This is why as hard as it is, and it is hard, trust me, I know, it is hard not to return hate for hate, but it is so necessary because People who are addicted to hate, who have latched on to hate as their purpose, they're doing so because they feel justified in doing that because they assume that you feel the same way as them. Or you get a chance to reject them, they're going to reject you. But if we're honest about ourselves, we as humans, we all, even though we annoy each other to no end at times, but we all crave companionship. We all crave community. And we all have a sense of belonging. Sometimes we follow this to our darkest, most destructive selves, and that's not productive. But I promise you, if you turn that around, if you find a positive purpose, and a positive purpose cannot be one that involves hate of anyone for any reason will never lead you to happiness. It is a road that will only make you more isolated, make you feel more unloved, unwelcomed, unwanted, and just question even more so, why am I on this earth? But if you can find it in your heart, in your mind, in your body, to be an open person, to be a person who is encouraging, and I guarantee you life will change. Now, this isn't a Mary Poppins movie that, the moment you wake up, everything in your life is going to go well. But I promise you it will be different. It will be different from what you've experienced before. You will find there'll be more people willing to help you because your spirit is inviting. It is enticing people to root for you, to want to see you do well. That is the difference. And that's why I think, we have so many humans out there. Despite all of our technology and everything like that, I see a lot of people who lack purpose. And unfortunately, if you're the type of person, if you prefer, the solitude, the solitude of your home, as opposed to going out there and being amongst people, it's a very isolating thing. And it's very hard to feel purpose by yourself. I know some people you might be thinking, well, I'm more comfortable by myself. People always do things to hurt me or whatever. And I get it. But I would not want to throw out all of the good relationships because of the few bad ones that I might encounter along the way. Purpose is, I think, a game changers in people's lives. It's why you get up in the morning. It's a reason to get out of bed is because you have a purpose. It's because you're trying to accomplish something and you're trying to accomplish something to some effect that you deem to be important. That purpose is what makes your life worth living. And I think there are so many people out there today that do not have purpose. Now, unfortunately, I don't, like I said earlier, I don't have any magic words. I don't have any, magic fairy dust I can sprinkle all over the place to say that, hey, this is the purpose for your life. I'm sorry, I don't have that. That's something that you have to figure out. What it's going to be different for every single person. But I do know that you'll never feel fulfilled and you will never really know happiness until you find it. But I promise you, it's worth finding what your purpose is. And that purpose, if you dedicate yourself to something that is evil, that's not going to fulfill you. You will never be satisfied doing something evil, but being a positive force in this world. And if you feel like, well, what's truly evil? If you think that there is a hard line to differentiate between good and evil, there really isn't. Sometimes you might do, there might be bad consequences to your good intentions. Yes, that happens. But we all have an innate sense of what's good and evil. That's not hard to do. You know that hating people, being violent towards other people, being disrespectful, putting down people, those are negative things, negative energy. That's not going to help you. That's not going to help you live your best life if that's what you're into. And I don't care what you've done, everything you've done up until the point when maybe you're looking at looking at or listening to this broadcast, we can't undo that. It's already done. What you can control is what you do from this point forward. That is still completely in your hands. Now, you can sit back and complain that the world has been unfair to you, it's been unkind. Listen, I'm sort of sympathetic to that one myself sometimes. I don't think the world has been fair to me. But here's the thing, no one said that the world would be fair. The world is just a world, and we have to figure out how to navigate our way through it. And if we take the power to say, look, I'm going to be responsible ultimately for my happiness, you have power. But if you give the power away and say, well, if the world would just give me a break, now you have no power. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm powerless. No one wants to feel powerless. If I know, listen, I've got to find the way. I've got to learn how to navigate. I've got to learn how to make myself happy. Then I have the power and I retain the power. So I encourage you to do that with your life. For me, that's why I'm doing this company. Listen, I could have had a much easier life. I had good jobs, I was making good money, but then I decided to do this crazy thing. And the more and more that I got into it, the more actors I met, and I was moved by their experiences. And these are super talented people, but they're not getting the breaks that they need because they're not getting, no one's giving them that opportunity. Well, I want to be that person. I know how to raise money. I want to. I'm not saying it's easy, and let me not give you any illusions. It's not been easy at all. You talk to people and tell, oh, listen, I'm into diversity and blah, blah, blah. And you can just see the eyes start to glaze over. And that is not a big investment sell for most people. But I'm not looking for most people. I'm looking for people who are going to truly and genuinely care and want to say, well, how can I have impact? What can I do to leave a positive legacy? And I think this is one of the things that you can do is there's so many, think of how music and entertainment have enriched your lives. When you're down, when you're sad, or you're happy, or whatever, just having, entertainment and the arts around it's not, we treat it like it's this frivolous thing, but no, it's not. It's very special. It helps keep our souls together, keep it in order, give our lives meaning and purpose. So to me, the artist is, definitely something that I have high respect for. And I want to do everything in my power to support artists. That is my purpose. That is what I want to do. So I give you that thought of, hey, let's think about having purpose, having, and how that would change your life if once you decided what it was that you really wanted out of life, um, that's going to give you that drive. That's going to help you keep going through the tough times. But you got to find your purpose. And, you can't sit back and wait and expect like your purpose is going to fall on you like a ton of bricks. No, sometimes you got to go out and look for it. And you find it sometimes in places where you don't even expect it to exist. But when you find it, I promise you will know it. And I promise your life will be different and better from that point forward. Now, the second word I want to talk to you is grace. Grace is an important factor, and it's related to the first word, purpose, because I think those of us who are fortunate, and when I say those of us, I'm not including myself there. I think I'm on my journey to being there. But those of us who've experienced true love, who are blessed with wonderful friends and family and have a well-centered life, when you see other individuals, when you encounter other individuals who are exhibiting some of these signs that I say, our first reaction is to be angry, but I want to, put this thought in your head about having grace, meaning think about what is this person missing? What is, looking at the other side. I'm not talking about excusing bad behavior. That's not what I mean. What I'm saying is let's be careful about writing people off too soon. Um, None of us, if we have been, human beings that have been growing and learning through our lives, if someone had met us earlier in our lives, they might not like that version of ourselves because we have grown as people as we got older and experienced more. So you may have encountered that soul at a point in their development, maybe it's early in their development. You don't know what that person is going to ultimately become. Yeah, you don't have to accept the bad behavior and you can say that, but at the same token, have the grace to give them the opportunity, just like you had the opportunity to grow and be a better person, have the grace to let that person be a better person. Now, I'm not saying put yourself in danger and hang around dangerous people until they, let them grow to a good person and whatnot. But let's not, throw them, we have this thing in our society, we want to lock them up and throw away the key. That's not going to be the wholesale answer. Um, we've got to find a way to reach people, to at least encourage them, to say, hey, here's what I see. I don't know you from Adam, or Jane, but here's what I see. Here's a thought for you. And my thought for you is you may not have found your purpose in life. And that's why everything feels horrible to you. Everything hurts. And if you're in that place, I believe this will resonate with you because it feels like everything hurts. Every topic, everyone talking at you, you're just tired. You just want people to shut up. You want there to be silence because I think that's your soul crying out for peace. And your soul cannot find peace. And how you get there is, as I said earlier, is to find grace. I mean, excuse me, to have purpose. But when you find your purpose, then the next thing I think you need to do is have grace for those who have not. And just like you needed time to find your way, expect and respect that other humans will need time to find their way. That was, I don't know why that was on my mind to talk about that today, but it was. I hope if you listen to this episode that you got something from it. If you do, please, please, please leave a comment. Tell me how this resonated with you or if it didn't resonate with you. Please leave comments. Please subscribe to our channels. And please follow us on social media. Thank you much. Thank you very much for listening. This has been the Quintasia Podcast. I'm Gregory Jenkins. Bye-bye for now.